We have a new quick take on blockchain proof, measurable proof on the blockchain. We're wanting to try to make this something that's a short way to present concepts, and we'll do this occasionally, maybe once a month. So today, measurable proof on blockchain. All right, so what is proof? I mean, everybody generally knows what proof is. It's an evidence or an argument establishing or helping to establish a fact or the truth of a statement. We, though, with blockchain, came on pretty early to the concept that using the hash power of Bitcoin, even when we were, at Disney, that this was one of the concepts that we brought in to the enterprise, that a huge value for using blockchain itself is the fact that an event occurred, that the data has not been changed. People tend to know those things, or those are the things you hear about blockchain a lot. You can have proof that the information was derived from source data. But the one that we've really tied into a lot, because we feel that this was deeper even than the proof that the data didn't change, was the proof that the data was in a certain state and has been unchanged, but that event happened between 2 points in time. The interesting thing about it, with Dragonchain as an example, sensitive data can be kept private, yet it can be proven at any time after the fact. This sensitive data, or potentially sensitive data, comes with it the capability to handle GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA, or other regulatory compliance, depending on where you are in the world. And because we are only decentralizing the proof itself, this measurable proof, you have a much better privacy capability than you would ever have with a public blockchain encryption strategy. That is, a lot of, especially in the early days, people were saying, okay, well, how do we store big data, and how in particular do we store sensitive data? Because these blockchains are public, if you're talking about Bitcoin, if you're talking about Ethereum in particular. And if that data is out there and it's on chain and it's decentralized all over the world, it frankly doesn't matter if it's encrypted. It doesn't matter if it's encrypted to the best tech that we have today, because within 5, 10, 20 years, that encryption will be broken, or will very likely be broken, and that data is already out there. So everybody has access to it, and they can now look at everything that happened back then and pull out all your customer data. The fact that with the hybrid blockchain network that we can, basically that you can control the data, it's not on the chain, but the important part of it is that the proof is. It also means that we have a decent level of quantum resistance built in, because the data isn't on chain, number one, and because there are enough decentralized both trust systems and various proofs, proof of work, proof of stake systems involved as well. And what it gives you is timestamping. It gives you the ability to say, okay, my contract is as it was, and even if it's a traditional real world, go to your lawyer contract, or if it's a licensing contract, or the use of a license as an example, or if it's versioning data, things like this. So here is the contract in draft, here is version 1, here is version 2 after all the red lines, here is version 3, and it was signed by both parties on chain. You can now go back and nobody knows precisely the legal implications of this yet either, but the fact that you could use it as evidence in court, and the entire vision of this, even from the days when we were at Disney, was that you would have the best of both worlds. You would have, the fact that I'm saying this is what is used in court today. And he was like, well, here it is, it's an email. It's like, well, could you fake that email? Yes. And you could bring an expert in and hopefully trust that expert to say that it wasn't faked or that it was faked. But you don't really have a way to measure it. You're talking about a lot of legwork saying, is that expert compromised? Did you pay the expert? All of these things that, they really do happen. People pay the experts to say what they want said. The experts go in, they get paid high dollar, they say what the client wants them to say. And then the judge or jury kind of decides based upon, I think I like this guy better because he was clean shaven, right? Who knows? So this timestamping is important, though, because it's the first time that you can actually prove that something happened, or that data was in a certain state between 2 points in time. It is because of the hash power applied. It is because you can actually tie a number to it. So an extrapolated value of energy applied. We can give, and we do give a relatively conservative estimate of the amount of energy applied, and we use pretty well established formulas on the yield, the power of certain miners, Bitcoin miners and Ethereum miners, and we take the tracked hash power over time to basically tell you how much energy was applied every day, every month, and every year. And so we're talking about literally $8 million a day of hash power is applied for every single transaction that goes on Dragonchain. In time, every month, that's 250 million a month, and it's about 3 billion a year. And that's for every transaction, no matter the cost. And the costs range from $1 at the high end to 25 10 millionths of a dollar at the low end, depending on how much time you apply. And it's extremely scalable, as we've shown in the past as well. So what this gives you, and the main point of a lot of this is, let's say you have sensitive data. We make it very expensive for someone to fake you out, to manipulate that data without you having a signal that they have attempted or are manipulating the data. You also have not only the simple dollar figure, you also have the ability to look at the forks and the simultaneous, the fact that you have, if you have, as an example, multiple forks post-transaction time, and they have reorganized to a point prior to your transaction, you would know in that case that you have, I guess, a reason to be concerned. The rarity of that would be such that before you knew about it, the entire world would know about it. So that is what we're talking about. And if you go to, like, say, our BeakC system, and you look at the trading report, you can see that, in fact, I think this is one of the ones we published, and we tend to use it as an example, that we have about $700 million applied in security to this single trade transaction since August 1st. Since that time, and no matter what that transaction cost, and it was likely very low cost transaction because there are a lot of them, we have $700 million of security applied, and in a year's time it'll be about 3 billion, which is super interesting. And we haven't done an exhaustive search yet, but we have a lot of them in there that are past $1 billion worth of security applied. And so, you can go and look at those, and it's an interesting piece. And this capability, we've known, we've had the data, we've had everything, but it took us a while to get the calculations in, to get everything vetted, to get it plugged into the system. It's all there now, and we're rolling it out to all the different proof reports as we go on. So that is a quick take. Hopefully it was quick enough, and I didn't ramble too much.